Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on Farm Together 2. I'm going to be giving you a load of tips that I wish I knew as a starter player and hopefully help you guys out. Before I jump into this video, please drop a like right now, which is the big thumbs up button down below, and please don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and let me know in the comment section if this video helped you. Right, so let's talk about big tips. First things first is your tractor. If you're a brand new player, you're gonna try and do the sort of basic tutorial steps, and then you basically unlock a tractor which looks like this. Now with your tractor, you can basically come along, you can click, and you can kind of hit this and collect and harvest in a 3x3 chunk. But what you can actually do is just simply press shift on your keyboard and it will automatically start to harvest what is in front of it. And you can change the direction of the tractor, but it will still automatically harvest, and the only time it will stop is if I press shift to stop or if my fuel tank runs out. With regards to your fuel tank, you're going to buy these from the shop over in the building section here. They do cost 4 ribbons, so I would just say buy 1 or 2, and then you'll need to upgrade the fuel capacity over in your town hall. Now that takes me on to town hall. So if I click the map and I click Z, it takes me to town hall like here. Now for new players, your town hall is going to have a load of like blue signposts all around here. And basically if you click on them, you can buy the little stores that you can see that I have set up all around. And there are a lot to them. But they're really good because you can come in here and you can sell the items that you've harvested. So my fish, and I can get diamonds on return for that. Now, if I come on over to the flower shop as an example, it's also worth noting I can press control. So I can sell 1 at a time, 5 at a time, 10 at a time, 25%, 50%, or max. And I always just go on the max category personally, just because that is a quicker way. When your merchant runs out of money, it's normally a couple of minutes and then they're back up to restock. You can see the timer down here. So definitely keep on top of selling your stock. Again, if I click here, you can see your inventory, so you can see what's touching capacity. So right now, for example, my milk is at max capacity, so I can come on over here and I can sell all of them and instantly make 400 diamonds, and then I just need to wait for a restock. You can upgrade your stores, as you can see here, which I do recommend doing from time to time if you have the materials for it. As we can see here, actually, I can upgrade this one quite a lot, surprisingly, but it is something that I do recommend. Now, in terms of the most important stores in Town Hall, my personal opinion is the Quest Bazaar, and in here, you can actually pay ribbons to get more quests. I always do this one, which costs 4 ribbons because it has the maximum reward, which is 50 ribbon reward. And although normally these quests, as I hover over them, they have a much higher number of items to harvest, they give you the best reward. And as you start to get a much bigger farm with a lot more items on it, it's much easier to do these quite quickly. In my opinion, the second most important store is actually this money exchange one. The money exchange one lets you transfer in-game currencies over to diamonds or also over to ribbons. So this can sometimes be a good way for you to be able to swap out currencies to get anything particular that you're after. The last one that I do want to mention is actually the landscaping agency. In here, basically, as you unlock a plot of land, it's very terraformed. You'll have cliff sides, you'll have dips, it'll be all over the place. You can come to the landscaping agency and you will have a price on screen, so mine is 2,500 diamonds. And basically what this will do is it will just flatten that entire thing. So you will have no cliff sides, it will just flatten it. If you have items on top of the cliff side, so for example, trees on the cliff side, it flattens it, the trees just move down to the base level. Now, unfortunately, it's a little bit misleading because you can pay for this right now. And then I kind of hit this and then it says, are you sure? I hit it again. And then it doesn't have the option to basically not keep pressing. So it does it, okay? And it does it for all the plots available in your entire island. So if you have 6 plots that are completely different terraform levels, you do this, it will flatten all 6 plots. Don't keep pressing this. I made the mistake of keep pressing this because I didn't think it had worked. Do this once, and then basically your diamonds should go down. So from 53,000, I would have gone down to 51. But also go back to your farm and just double check that plot of land to make sure it has dropped down in size. So the biggest recommendation that I have is to save your diamonds. So basically work towards getting diamonds and keep saving them. Do your quests, get your money, keep buying quests, expand your town hall, save your diamonds. Spend your diamonds on maxing out the size of your farm. So if I come on over, for example, for here, I don't actually have enough diamonds right now. Sometimes I don't have enough of a island XP level set. So right now I'm at 165. Typically it goes up in chunks of 4 to be able to buy another plot of land. But the more land that you buy, the more space that you have to play with. Now the next thing is actually the shop. So you have crops, you have trees, you have animals, you have fish, and you have flowers. And all of these categories are basically what you can use to buy and yield money. So the biggest recommendation that I have for all of those categories, okay, is when you hover over the items, you will have it in red where you are prompted that once you reach a certain level, you unlock a new item. So for example, my green cabbage right now is level 38, but when I get to level 40, I unlock a new item. You really want to try and work towards maxing out all of these and unlock every single one, because then that's where you can start to organize your farm much better and you can really plan for everything the way that you want. I made the mistake of basically starting to do this where I had like all of my chickens up top, which produced eggs. And then I started to put my pigs in. And then I realized I unlocked more chickens. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't place them because I placed them. So work towards unlocking everything first, or leave gaps if you haven't unlocked all of them just yet. The next thing, actually, if I just kind of come back to that shop really quickly, is although you can also come across and you can hover over to see which ones you need to unlock for upgrade, you can actually press X to see the profits that you've made on each item. Now, this is really useful on the likes of the flowers. If I come down to this flower, which I've only just recently unlocked, and I press X on this one, you can see here how much money I have made. So for example, I own 112 of these royal blue flowers. I spent 1.6 million on planting them, and so far I have made 9.8 million in profit back, which is insane. So I always thought that was a cool way and a cool tip to know about. Over in the buildings, you're really going to want to unlock the underground mine is my biggest recommendation. Try to unlock this and get this down. You can only have one to a farm, but this lets you get infinite diamonds. It is really, really good in my opinion. It's very manual. You can't use your tractor inside it, but it basically means that you can come on over to your mine like this, and then once it's ready, you can harvest all of the different things. And as you can see in here, some of them are producing insane amount of diamonds and XP. So again, it's just a really cool way to grind much quicker, but again, it is a bit manual. You have to kind of come through and do each one. You then use your ribbons to expand your mine so that you can come over to this shaft, and then eventually I can buy this one and expand into that shaft as well, to just basically have more stuff to harvest each time I go in there. The other thing to note is over on the decorations, the fences, the roads, you can actually customize these. So if I press X, you can see the variations to these. So they do come in lots of variations. The same when it comes to your fences, and also the same when it comes to the roads. So you can actually make really cool designs and decorations, but I recommend doing that once you're happy with the size of your island before you start to really focus on decorating. My last thing for the shop is actually two last things. The first one being the signpost with the arrow. This is such a cool item. It does cost 5 ribbons. But if I come on over to one of my crops down here, and I can show you how this works, is once I select it, I can pick the depth, and I can also pick the width. I can then choose what items I want to automatically replant. So for example, this one was the honeycomb tomato, I believe. Yes, it was. But then what happens is basically I can have my tractor, I can press Alt, and then it will automatically harvest, it will automatically replow the land, and if it's in season, it will automatically replant that crop that is on that signpost, but only in this area. If I come over to this area, because I have signposts, it will then replant those ones. And I'm sure you kind of get that idea, but it is such a cool feature. Again, if I kind of just come over here, I can automatically plant my cabbage because it's in season, and this is the one. If I quickly swap over here, you'll see it's automatically doing these ones for me instead. A really, really cool feature. And that leads me on to your actual farm settings. You really want to come in and you want to tweak your farm settings for friends, but also for guests. A huge part of Farm Together 2 is a invitation code, which you can share with friends, but also your island is public, so people might just come across it. And in that sense, you want to basically come on in here and just tweak the settings. Do you want people to harvest, plant items, water items, feed animals, do all of this stuff, basically? And I think it's a really cool thing to note about. So I definitely would come in and tweak all of these for people. And my last item from the shop is sprinklers. Sprinklers cost 2 ribbons. If you was to buy one, you can see here it basically covers a 3x3 radius. Now for flowers, these are really important because if I kind of hover over these ones, you'll notice that the little like champion icon down the bottom isn't at 100% capacity, and that's because I don't have any sprinklers on them. So yes, I can harvest these flowers, and yes, I will get decent money from them, but because I don't have sprinklers on them, I'm not going to make maximum profit. Whereas these flowers here, these all have sprinklers. They're my best flowers that I own, and so I want to maximize the profit of these, and so therefore I have sprinklers. However, you're also going to want to use sprinklers on certain crops. So with crops, if you have sprinklers, it reduces their production time. And I think it's roughly like 40, I'm going to say about 40% reduction. So I normally plant my sprinklers on crops that either take extremely, extremely long, so sort of anything above 6 hours, or I will plant some sprinklers on crops that yield the most money for me. But that is also another cool thing to know about. Now, when it comes to the map, there are some settings that you should know about. First of all, what on earth is all this stuff in yellow? So if I kind of zoom in for a second, you'll see here that these ones are all in yellow. Now these are basically indicating that this is a quest item, but it's not ready to currently be harvested. Whereas if I come up here and we can see this flower, it's got a load of dots on it as well. Now the dots are indicating, yes, it's a quest item because it's yellow, but there's a load of dots on it, which means it's ready to be harvested right now. So if I kind of just drive down to that plant, and you'll notice that here we have the basket, but the basket on my quest item looks a little different, and that's because it is a quest item, and so you're going to want that one. If I start to harvest it, you'll see on the top bar, my quest is going down. I've got my tractor set for automatic collection. I already have sprinklers, so I don't need to water them. And then hopefully with this particular run, my quest is actually going to be done and it automatically pays out and it will generate a new one. The only time you don't generate a new one is when you go to Town Hall to buy additional quests. The last thing to note on your map is particularly for your animals. So my animals are all grouped in the center of my map, except I also have a couple of rabbits up top over here. Now on here, if you ever see it where it has loads of red X's, that is essentially an indication that that particular animal is hungry and it needs feeding. So simply go on over to that area and you can feed that animal. Now you'll notice my farm is massive and traveling from over here to over here is a very long process. I have all these numbers on my map and essentially these are actually travel posts. So if again I come on over to the shop, you can buy a quick travel post which costs 4 ribbons. and you can own as many of these that is allowed depending on the XP level of your island. So right now I'm on level 165, which means that I can own a maximum of 45 travel posts. They're really good, and I recommend using them and kind of trying to put them in areas that you need to access the quickest. I group all of my animals, all of my flowers, and all my fish just to make those travel posts linked a little bit easier and better. The last thing that I kind of want to note is if you have an inkling that you're going to be away for a long period of time, whether you're going to bed for 8 hours or you're going to work for 8 hours or you're going on holiday for a few days, if you know you're not going to be online for a little while, plant something that is going to take time according to how long you're going to be away for, because you're going to yield a much higher XP as well as money profit. A really, really big thing to always remember to do if you do plan on not being around too much. And then I just want to quickly touch on quests. So from time to time, the owners of Farm Together 2 do release quests. Typically they are seasonal, so things like Easter, Christmas, Halloween. But you can actually notice in 6 days we're going to have an event. And events are really important because not only do you get quests specific to events, but you also have the way to unlock limited edition items. So we see here I have romantic balloons. I've also got the creepy pumpkin, and they're really good because things like here in the Easter event last, they released a rabbit, which although it costs 18 diamonds, it yields 4 diamonds each time you harvest it. If I look at my stats, I spent 4,000 diamonds on these rabbits and I yield just under 20,000 profit, which is crazy. So definitely check those out because you can't plant these or get these unless you participate in the event and unlock them. The same for decorational items. Down here you'll see all my limited edition decoration items from previous seasonal events. You can't get these unless you find someone who has it unlocked, who can come to your farm and place it down for you. So kind of just bear that in mind when the events are on. It's definitely something to try and play and participate in each time. So with that said, I know that this is a little bit of a long video, but I try to cover as many big tips as I think are important. Please drop a like right now on this video if you did find it useful. Please let me know in the comment section any type of Farm Together 2 videos that you would like to see me do. Again, I have been playing this for quite a while now, so I feel like I do know quite a lot of things. And I love playing this game, so I'm definitely going to try and post as much content as possible. But with that being said, please drop a like right now, which is the big thumbs up button. Again, please don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in another video very soon, but goodbye for now.